What if your anxiety wasn't a problem to fix, but a signal? What if your sadness, your shame, your fear weren't flaws, but messages? Carl Jung believed that the parts of ourselves we try hardest to avoid are often the ones trying hardest to guide us. He saw our wounds not as weaknesses, but as doorways, portals to the deeper self we've forgotten, buried, or been taught to hide. In this video, you will explore 6 of Jung's most powerful life lessons, and you might just begin to see your past, your pain, and your path forward in a completely new way. Because real growth isn't about self-optimization, it's about self-realization. Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and the founder of analytical psychology, wasn't just a scientist of the mind, he was an explorer of the soul. He believed that behind every symptom, every conflict, and every feeling of emptiness lies a deeper invitation to become whole. Where others looked at behavior, Jung looked at meaning. Where others feared the unconscious, Jung listened to it. In a world obsessed with image and productivity, Jung's teachings are more urgent than ever. You might live your whole life upstairs, never daring to go down, but sooner or later, the knocking begins. Let's explore 6 life-changing insights from Carl Jung that could help you reconnect with who you truly are. You might sabotage things that matter to you. You might feel haunted by moods or impulses you don't understand. Lesson 1. Face your shadow. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Carl Jung, it includes traits we learned were wrong or unlovable: anger, ambition, pride, desire, even joy. You see in them what you can't see in yourself. But it also holds our instincts, talents, boundaries, and truths. The shadow isn't evil. It's simply exiled. Imagine your personality as a house, and the shadow is the locked basement. You might lash out at others unexpectedly. This is the shadow speaking. Jung wrote, "The most dangerous psychological mistake is the projection of the shadow onto others." The work isn't to get rid of the shadow. It's to turn on the light and walk downstairs. Practice. Shadow journaling. Write about someone you dislike and ask, what might this reflect in me? Lesson 2. Your pain holds meaning. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. Said Carl Jung, we live in a culture obsessed with fixing. Self-help, productivity hacks, optimization, all ways to smooth over the soul's discomfort. But Jung knew that pain is not a malfunction. It's a compass. It doesn't block the path. It is the path. Think of a splinter in your skin. The pain is there to draw attention to the wound. Your psyche works the same way. Anxiety may be your body's cry for safety. Shame may point to an identity you never chose but inherited. If you numb it, you lose the message. If you listen, you learn what needs to be seen, spoken, or surrendered. Jung once said, "Where your fear is, there is your task." Pain isn't the enemy. It's your soul's alarm clock. The question is, will you wake up? Practice. Instead of asking, how do I stop feeling this? Ask, what is this feeling trying to teach me? Lesson 3. Don't mistake the mask for the self. Carl Jung said, the greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of the parents. From an early age, we learn to be good, not truthful, not whole, just socially acceptable. Over time, we forget where the mask ends and we begin. You might succeed at life's performance and still feel hollow. We build a persona, a public version of ourselves that earns approval and avoids rejection. Imagine an actor who plays a role for so long, they forget their real voice. That's what happens when the persona takes over. Seen, but not felt. You become liked, but not known. Productive, but not present. Real growth means stepping off stage and returning to the quiet place where your real voice lives. It may feel terrifying, but that's where freedom begins. Jung warned that when people over-identify with the persona, they may lose access to their soul. Practice. Try saying no to something small that you normally agree to just to please others, and observe what comes up. Lesson 4. Dreams are messages from the soul. The dream is the small hidden door in the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul. Jung saw dreams as a direct line to the unconscious, the deeper self that often gets ignored in waking life. In a dream, logic disappears, but meaning emerges. It speaks in images, symbols, and archetypes, universal themes like the wise old man, the lost child, or the labyrinth. Unlike the ego, the unconscious doesn't use language. Let's say you dream of being chased. It might not mean you're in danger, but that you're running from something emotionally. Or you're avoiding a truth you're not ready to face. Jung encouraged people to not just interpret dreams, but to have a dialogue with them. Ask yourself, who or what is appearing in my dreams lately? What emotions do I feel in that space? What part of me might be speaking? An incomparable uniqueness, it also implies becoming one's own self. Practice. Keep a dream journal by your bed. Even a single symbol repeated in dreams can reveal an entire inner landscape. Lesson 5. The goal isn't perfection, it's wholeness, Carl. Jung believed that the true journey of life isn't about self-improvement. It's about individuation. The lifelong process of becoming your deepest, most authentic self. Not the version others expect, but the one you were born to become. He wrote, individuation means becoming an individual, and insofar as individuality embraces our innermost, ask, what is trying to emerge in me now? But this journey isn't easy. It often means shedding the identities you were taught to wear. The obedient daughter, the reliable provider, the clever child. You don't become better, you become whole. Piece by piece, through insight and breakdown, through dreams and shadows, the shape of your true self begins to emerge, like a jigsaw puzzle, slowly revealing a picture you've never seen, but always felt. Individuation asks you to confront the parts of yourself you've hidden, to integrate the shadow, embrace the wound, dismantle the persona. To Jung, this wasn't just healing. It was sacred, the soul remembering its own face. Practice. Instead of asking, what should I do? Ask, what is trying to emerge in me now? Lesson 6. What you judge in others reflects you, knowing your own darkness. Jung wrote, is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. When someone triggers you, when their behavior lights a fire of emotion in you, stop and ask, what am I really reacting to? Jung called this projection, the process of unconsciously assigning our own disowned qualities to others. You may label someone too emotional, but it's really your own feelings you've locked away. You may call someone selfish, but deep down, you've been taught your own needs don't matter. It's not that you're imagining their flaws. It's that your reaction is personal, not neutral. Projection creates illusion, but it also creates opportunity, because every strong judgment is a signpost to something within. Practice. Instead of pushing away the people who annoy you, ask, what quality in them makes me uncomfortable, and where does that live in me? This doesn't mean excusing others. It means reclaiming yourself toward the truth we've avoided, toward the self we've forgotten. Carl Jung didn't promise comfort. He promised transformation, because the path to becoming whole is rarely easy, but it is always worth it. His lessons ask us to turn inward, toward the shadow, the wound, the dream, the mask. You won't find yourself in a checklist or a to-do list. You'll find yourself in the moments of deep honesty, the ones that hurt but heal. So ask yourself, what part of you have you been avoiding? What truth are you ready to face, even if it changes everything? If this spoke to something inside you, subscribe for more reflections on the inner life.